Have you ever had a dream and just knew it meant something more? You didn't think it was just fluff from your brain. You thought you were getting a message, but you didn't know how to decode it. Well, in this video, we're going to go over the 5 big transformational signs and symbols from dreams that show you're on the edge of a big transformation. Carl Jung believed that dreams are a conversation between your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. So he believed that they were determining not what's going to happen outside of you, but help you to understand symbolically through images what's happening within you and how you're about to transform. So stick with me to the end, and we're going to go through the 5 transformational signs that are powerful meetings that you are right on the edge of a next stage of life, a huge transformation, and a big shift. The first big symbol that has fascinated and frightened people for ages is the symbol of the snake. So let's think about the snake. It slithers. It is the symbol within the healing power of the caduceus, which is the symbol of 2 snakes that go together and create the symbol for health and healing in the medical field. It also is the symbol of the DNA code, right? So snakes, what do? They shed their skin. So snakes can often symbolize in your dreams something coming up where you are shifting from one reality to the other. But to do that, you have to let go of the old to embrace the new. So that could be a job, it could be your relationships, it could be any kind of letting go, death, rebirth cycle where you are waking up and you are being activated towards a higher evolution of yourself. Now, from a Jungian perspective, the snake symbolizes the shadow work, the dark side, right? And so when we think about that, we think a little bit about Darth Vader, but that's not really what it means. The shadow side is a part of all of us that we sometimes are unwilling to face because we're uncomfortable with it. Some aspects of ourselves that we push away because we've decided that they're unacceptable. So I know for myself, growing up, I was so highly competitive and maybe even a little bossy. And I don't really like those characteristics about myself, right? I had to work on them as I got older to be more fine-tuned, as we all do, as we go from youth to adulthood, right? To allow myself to evolve. Now, I could turn away from those aspects of myself that were part of something I struggled with growing up. But instead, when I turned to them, addressing the dark is just being able to look at them and walk around them to gain perspective, not about what you need to avoid, but about understanding your whole so you can keep evolving and keep refining and keep transforming into your highest self. So the snake is really showing up to tell you, you are right on the edge of something. You just have to have the courage to let go of the old and embrace the new. Ask yourself, what are you willing and ready to shed right now? The second dream symbol that comes up for a lot of us and sometimes induces a little bit of panic is dreaming that you have died or are dying, right? So this idea of death is actually not as negative as it seems. Like the snake, but differently, death symbolizes in your dreams that something is ending in order for something new to begin. So something that you may have thought at surface level was negative, like the end of a job, may be opening you up to meeting the love of your life. Or what? You fill that in. Has something ended recently that you think is negative, but has opened you up to a whole new chapter, a whole new perspective, a whole new way of thinking, a whole new mindset that has shifted you towards a higher quantum timeline? Right? Or towards your highest self. So when you see death in your dreams, don't worry. It very rarely, if ever, means that you're going to die. It means something inside of you that you need to end and come to a closure is ready to come to a close so that you can have a great positive change ahead for you in the future. So embrace the idea, the symbol of death, and know that good things are ahead and that the future is looking even brighter for you. The third dream sign that is classic and comes up a lot for a lot of us is water in some sort of form in our dreams. Now, this represents our emotional depth and the emotional depth that wants to be contacted within our subconsciousness, the emotional depth that wants to be tuned into and expressed and felt so that we can move through it and transition and integrate it. So there's all sorts of ways water could show up. It could be clear flowing water like a stream saying maybe your emotions are flowing pretty smoothly, or you have integrated something that you've been trying to. There could be swampy water saying that maybe you feel really overwhelmed and stuck and that you need to do something to shift that feeling so that you can process what feels stuck and let it come up and out. Now, if there's something really chaotic like a tsunami or a hurricane and that comes through with a lot of water and a windstorm, that's going to indicate some sort of need for urgency around tending to your emotions. That's something like some sort of joy or grief or sorrow or anger really, really, really wants to come up and come out because it's trying to bubble up in an urgent way. Now, water is a powerful symbol of like going within and tuning in and hopefully getting to a state where we are a peaceful pond, right? A tranquil place where our emotions are not suppressed and we're also not crying all the time, right? It's somewhere in the in-between where we can be balanced, where we're not too drippy, but we're also not frozen. And so any water showing up in your symbol, ask yourself, well, what kind of water was it? And how did I feel about it in the dream? And between those two factors, you can decode what emotional issues are coming up for you by asking those questions and diving in a little deeper. These dream symbols are very personal to you. There is no dream dictionary. I mean, there are dream dictionaries, right? But then you have to interpret what the content is and make it personal to you. So I'd love to know, right? Have you been dreaming of any of the first three? If you have, please share a comment with me below and tell me where you are and what's going on with you. I love dream analysis. I've studied it a lot because it was really powerful in helping me to understand the symbols in my own life and in my own dreams. And if this information is useful to you at all, please like, subscribe, or share it with someone else who you think could benefit from it so that YouTube knows that you want more content like this. While some symbols are scary, the other signs can just be beautiful symbols of rebirth and renewal. So our next two symbols that are our fourth sign that have a similar message are the butterfly and the phoenix. Now with the butterfly goes through an incubation stage called the chrysalis, where it's hibernating and nothing much on the surface looks like it's going on, but it's transmuting and transforming and doing all the shifts inside here until it breaks free and flies free. So it's asking you to ask yourself, where in your life are you in an incubation stage? It doesn't look like there's a lot going on, but it may be the pause where you get to integrate, transmute, and transform things internally before they manifest externally for you. Now, the phoenix is a little bit different. The phoenix is a little bit more dramatic, right? The phoenix burns to a crisp, falls into the ashes, and then rises again. So this symbol, if you see this symbol, it's still about renewal, it's still about hope, and it's still about rebirth. But it's asking you to take a different perspective on something that may have been a little dramatic in your life. Like something shifted unexpectedly and you didn't know how to take it. Well, the phoenix is telling you, hey, this is helpful. There's inspiration. You're on the right path for renewal. Even though that came at you totally sideways and maybe spun you out a little bit, that was for a purpose because you are going somewhere better and there is hope ahead. Now, the fifth symbol is the symbol of a lock and a door opening. Now, what this means is that opportunities are just waiting to open up for you. This could be career opportunities. This could be opportunities in housing. This could be financial opportunities. This could be romantic opportunities. This could be new connections with new friends. This could be networking. It's hard to tell until you have your individual diagnosis of all the factors, right? But opening the door, finding a door, and getting the key to unlock it is about unlocking your potential and about there being potential on the other side of the door. So it's also very important that you look, and if you are putting the key in and opening the door, right? Or if it's locked and you're able to undo it, going and back to yourself and saying, well, where is that key? Why didn't I have the key? Am I still looking for the key, right? All of these dreams are to be interpreted by your individual life and perspective and the feelings you have in them. So if I didn't have the key, I would start thinking to myself, well, what is the key to this? What is the key to me unlocking my potential? Where might I find that? Where might I seek for that? How might I pray for the unfolding of that to come to me? Now, if you have the key and you put it in the door and you open the door, notice, what is the scene on the other side? Is it a beautiful landscape, or is it something that scares you? How you feel is really important in dreams. So if it's a beautiful landscape, I might say something like, oh, okay, this is telling me that I'm going to have more opportunities when I move forward and spend more time contemplating in nature, or that things might be more easeful for me moving forward. Now, if it's a scary scene, I might think, what am I afraid of that is keeping me from moving into a peaceful landscape and unlocking my potential? From a Jungian perspective, opening the door and having a new landscape could be about integrating the different parts of yourself and feeling whole. Your only job once you get the door open is to have the courage to walk through it into your future. And you don't have to have it all figured out. You can figure it out all along the way. So we have the snake, that is the shedding of the skin, the death, that can mean the end of an old you or an end that needs to come in a cycle. We have the cleansing waters of emotional depth that are tuning us in to what needs to be expressed or felt. And then we have the symbols of metamorphosis and rebirth and renewal of the butterfly and the phoenix. And we have the key unlocking the door to new opportunities. So these are 5 powerful symbols that your life and your inner world is transforming, and thus your outer world is going to be transforming. And that you are on the edge of something wonderful and great and new and something purposeful that you are supposed to walk into with courage, with hope, and with knowing that you're not alone and that you're being guided to say through your dreams, it's okay to take the first step. If this video was helpful for you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment below. I'd love to know more about your dreams. I love decoding them. It's something that we all do that modern science can't explain exactly, and it's up to us to interpret the symbols from spirit that are being gifted to us and allowing us to move forward into our higher selves. And I love being on this journey with you. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.